Hello, my dear students. I hope you having a nice time, hard study. In the last session, we explained the structure of pancreas and the function of pancreas and the malfunction of secreting insulin or secreting glucagon. Okay, but the main important one is insulin. Let's complete what we started last session. What is the function of insulin hormone? It is the opposite to the function of glucagon hormone. It decreases the glucose level in the blood through two ways: transporting the monosaccharides through the cell membrane into the cell and stimulating the oxidation of glucose in the different body cells and the tissue. This is the first way. Take glucose from blood, deliver them to cells, and say to the cell, here is your glucose, do oxidation and get your needed energy and do all activities you want. The second way is convert glucose to glycogen and store it in liver. Okay, so insulin decreases the glucose level in blood by two ways. The first way is taking this glucose from blood to cells and stimulate cells to do oxidation or catabolism for glucose and get energy. The second way is to convert glucose into glycogen and store it in liver. Okay. Glycogen is stored in liver and muscle by the effect of insulin or glucose convert into lipids, or insulin stimulate the lipids are stored in different body cells. So insulin convert glucose into glycogen and store it in liver and muscles, or also insulin stimulate the lipids storage in body tissue, in different body tissue. Okay. Glucose in the presence of insulin hormone, more glucose in the presence of insulin hormone convert into glycogen, which is stored in liver and muscles, or convert into lipids, which is stored in different body tissues. What happens if there is hyposecretion of insulin hormone? Insulin secreted by low percentage, small amount, leads to occurrence of disturbance in metabolism of each of the carbohydrates and lipids in the body. There is a disturbance, malfunction. The body can't do metabolism, can't catalyze, can't get needed energy from glucose or lipids, causing diabetes mellitus disease, مرض السكري. Okay. Symptoms of diabetes mellitus disease. What are these symptoms? The increase of glucose level in blood above the normal range, and also continuous thirst sensation and excessive micturition. I would like to explain this part. Increase in the glucose level in blood doesn't mean that the cells have more glucose. It is the opposite, because there is no insulin, no glucose enter the cell. Okay, no insulin, no glucose enter the cell. Even if the glucose in the blood is high, the glucose doesn't enter the cell in absence of insulin. So the cells see the glucose in blood but can't use it because there is no insulin. The cells can't get needed energy because it doesn't have glucose, can't make catabolism because it can't take or absorb glucose in the absence of insulin. So we have more glucose in blood but no glucose in the cells, so the patient have no energy to do any activity. While when you measure the glucose in his blood, you will find the glucose present with 300, 200. It is a high percentage, but the patient cells doesn't have glucose. Okay. Diabetic patients exposed to coma, which meaning غيبوبة. The action of glucagon hormone antagonizes the action of insulin hormone. Each one has a function opposite to the other one. Glucagon hormone function differ or opposite to the function of insulin hormone. Glucagon hormone and insulin hormone have a direct relation with utilization of glucose in body. Glucagon hormone increase the glucose level in blood. Insulin hormone decrease the glucose level in blood. Glucagon hormone convert glycogen into glucose. Insulin hormone convert glucose into glycogen or lipids, or give it to cells to get energy, okay? Both have the same aim. Make the glucose level in blood in the normal. But they reach their aim, but in a different way. Glucagon make the glucose level normal by convert glycogen to glucose, while insulin make the glucose level normal by convert glucose to glycogen. Okay. Therefore, they maintain the constancy of glucose level in blood, which ranges between 80 to 120 milligram per 100 centimeter cube. This is the normal range for a person, for a healthy person, okay? If you are fasting, the range will be from 60 to 100, like that. Do you know that diabetic patients are injected by insulin instead of having it orally? Why? Think why with the diabetic patient they get the treatment by insulin injection, not oral dose. Because insulin hormone may consist of protein, and if we swallow insulin hormone, it will be digested in our digestive system, so the body can't get benefit from this hormone. If it is taken through the mouth, it will be digested by the protein digestive enzymes in the stomach and intestine. Before reaching the blood circulations, it will be useless, okay? Let's see biology in our life. Diabetes mellitus disease. What is this disease? It is a common disease that is characterized by an increase in the glucose level in blood. And according to the reason for increasing the glucose level above the normal level, it is classified into two types. So, diabetes mellitus disease classified into two types. According to the range, according to what? According to the reason of increasing the glucose level, okay? Inability of tissue to respond to insulin. If the insulin do its function, but the tissue inability to respond to it. It is one reason. It is a less common and more dangerous. This one, it is less common but more dangerous because we can't treat this one because the defect is from the tissue itself. Pancreas do its function efficiently and secrete insulin, and insulin do its function also. Try to get glucose to the cell, try to provide the cell with glucose, but the cell doesn't respond, as it results from an autoimmune disease where the immune system attacks the beta cells in islets of Langerhans and destroy them. This is another reason the immune system attacks beta cell which secrete insulin and destroy it. It is another reason, okay? Leading to decrease in the insulin level in blood or its secretion is stopped. So we have here two reasons. The tissue unable to respond to pancreas, to respond to insulin, and another reason is autoimmune disease affect the pancreas and destroy the beta cells which secrete insulin, so the beta cell stop secreting insulin or decrease its secretion. It is more common and less dangerous. The second one is more common and less dangerous. It is often appears in adulthood, especially at the age of 40 years. Due to life. In this time, beta cells are healthy and produce normal amount of insulin, but the body isn't able to use insulin effectively. known as insulin resistance, مقاومة الأنسولين, and make benefit from it. Okay? The following diagram illustrates the role of insulin and glucagon hormone in regulating the sugar level in blood. This one is the normal level of glucose from 80 up to 120 milligram per 100 centimeter cube. If the level of glucose increase more than the normal, pancreas secrete insulin, stimulate glucose cells to take glucose and do oxidation, or convert glucose into glycogen and store it in liver, or convert another one, convert glucose into lipids and store it in different body parts. So the level of glucose will be decreased to the normal range. What happens if the level of glucose decrease already from the normal range? Pancreas secrete glucagon while I'm fasting. Pancreas secrete glucagon, which stimulate the liver to convert glycogen to glucose and increase the level of glucose in the blood. Okay, now we will speak about sex glands, gonads glands. It is another type of endocrine glands. The sex glands or gonads glands in human include testes in males, ovary in females. Their function, what is the function of testes or ovaries? The formation of male gametes, sperms in testes, and female gametes, ova in ovaries. Main function. What we said, it is the main function, formation of gametes, male or female. But they have also another function, such as secretion of a group of sex hormones divided into two types. Male sex hormones, androgens, and include two hormones. Again, male sex hormones, it is one type of hormones secreted by gonads. Okay? Gonads secrete two types of hormones, male sex hormones and female sex hormones. Male sex hormones have a name called androgens, and they are two types: testosterone hormone, androsterone hormone. They secreted from interstitial cells in the testes. The growth, they stimulate or have a main role in growth of prostate glands and two seminal vesicles. The appearance of male secondary sex characters, that's harshness in voice, hair in chest area. Female, the second one, female sex hormones. Female sex hormones, some female sex hormones known as estrogen and include two hormones, which are estrogen or estridiol hormones secreted from Graafian follicle in the ovary. We need gonads hormones in reproduction, in the chapter of reproduction, so you need to study it very hard to understand the chapter of reproduction. Okay, estrogen or estridiol hormones secreted from Graafian follicle in the ovary. It acts on the appearance of female secondary sex characters, the increase in the breast, such as increase in the breast, enlargement of the breast. Progesterone hormone, it is the second type of female sex hormones. The second one secreted from corpus luteum in the ovary and placenta in the uterus. Placenta from the beginning about third month or fourth month. What is the function of progesterone hormone? Regulate the breeding cycle, as it regulates the vascularity changes of the endometrium اللي هي بطانة الرحم, and prepares the uterus to receive and implant. Okay. Also, it regulates the changes taking place in the mammary. Now we will speak about relaxing hormones. What is the relaxing hormones? It is hormone help in delivery. It secreted from corpus luteum, placenta, and endometrium. Function, its secretion increase at the end of pregnancy period, relaxation of pubic symphysis. You study it in the chapter 1 to the delivery process. So it help in delivery process. And this is what make pubic symphysis in women larger than that in men. Seventh, gastrointestinal hormones. This is the seventh type of endocrine hormones in our bodies. Gastrointestinal hormones, the mucous membrane lining of alimentary canal, contain a group of glands that secrete digestive juice. We study in last year that the digestion is ended in a small intestine. Why? Because of that, the mucous membrane lining the alimentary canal in a small intestine contain a number of group of cells which secrete digestive enzymes. Also, it secretes a group of hormones that stimulate the glands of alimentary canal to secrete the digestive enzymes and their different juices, such as gastrin hormone, that is secreted from the mucous membrane lining the stomach and transferred through the blood to the stomach again, stimulating it to secrete its gastric. Secreted from stomach and stimulate the stomach. It is very important. Gastrin hormone secreted and stimulate the same organ. Secreted from and stimulate the same organ. Secreted from mucus of stomach and stimulate stomach to secrete its gastric juice. Okay. Secretin and cholecystokinin hormones, that are secreted from mucous membrane lining the small intestine, transferred through the blood to pancreas, stimulating it to secrete pancreatic juice. Okay, this is the scientist who observed that the small intestine send message to the pancreas, duodenum send message to pancreas to secrete its juice, pancreatic juice. Again, secretin and cholecystokinin hormones secreted from mucous membrane, small intestine, transferred by blood to pancreas to stimulate pancreatic acini to secrete pancreatic juice. Now we will study the hormones of sexual maturity in human female. Follicle stimulating hormone stimulate the formation of seminiferous tubules in testes, also the formation of sperms in testes. Also, now the second hormone, luteinizing hormone, stimulate the formation of interstitial cells also in testes and stimulate the interstitial cells to secrete male hormones. Testosterone hormone stimulate the growth of prostate gland and two seminal vesicles. Androsterone hormone regulate the appearance of male secondary sex characters at puberty, البلوغ. Now, let's make a quick revision about the hormones of the sexual maturity in human females. Follicle stimulating hormone, it stimulates the growth of or maturation of the ovarian follicle in the ovary and converting them into Graafian follicle in the ovum maturation, proliferation stage. You will study it in the next chapter. Luteinizing hormone in female cause the rupture of Graafian follicle and the release of rib ovum and the formation of corpus luteum from the remains of Graafian follicle in the ovulation stage. Estrogen or steroidal hormone responsible for the appearance of female secondary sex characters at puberty, such as the growth of mammary glands and the regulation of menstrual cycle or menstruation. Okay. What are the hormones related to pregnancy period? Progesterone hormone regulate the breeding cycle where it prevents ovulation, so the menstrual cycle is stopped till after labor or delivery. Also, it regulates the change that occur in mammary glands during the pregnancy. Relaxing hormone secretion is secretion increased at the end of pregnancy period, so that is act on relaxing the pubic symphysis to facilitate the delivery process. Oxytocin hormone has a direct relationship with the regulation of process of uterine muscle contractions, where it increases them strongly during the delivery process for the baby birth, labor process. Okay, make a quick revision about hormones related to digestive system or digestion process. Gastrin, it is secreted from mucous membrane lining the stomach and transferred through the blood to the stomach again, stimulating it to secrete the gastric juice. Secrete and stimulate the same organ. Secretin in hormone, they are transferred through the blood from the small intestine to the pancreas to stimulate it to secrete pancreatic juice. They are transferred from the blood through the blood to the pancreas, stimulating it to secrete pancreatic juice. Secretin and cholecytokinin both have the same function. Let's make a quick revision also about the hormones of the impulse transmission related to nervous system. Aldosterone, it is important for adjusting the sodium level that is responsible for the muscle response to the neural stimulation through the muscle fiber. Very important hormone. Also, parathormone and calcitonin hormone, as I said, they have an important role in adjusting the calcium level that is responsible for the nerve impulse transmission through the nerve fibers. Now we finished explaining and study the second chapter, which speaks about hormones and hormonal coordination. You need to study it hard. It will help you in understanding the next chapter, which speaks about reproduction. You need to understand and keep the name of hormones, secreted from which gland, the function, what happens if the hormone increase in secretion or decrease in secretion, and the age of this malfunction. Okay, best wishes for you. Have you nice time. Goodbye. See you next time.
لازم تعرف ان الانتخابات مش بس اجراء بنقوم بيه يوم الاقتراع، لا، دي ثقافه في المجتمع بتعكس وعي الشعب ورقيه وحضارته، وده بالتحديد هو جوهر العمليه الانتخابيه، انها بتمثل المشاركه الحقيقيه والواعيه من المواطنين وايمانهم بالتعدديه والاختلاف وثقافه الحوار. خلي حرصك على التصويت والمشاركه في الانتخابات جزء من شخصيتك، ووقتها بس نقدر نقول اننا عايشين في مجتمع ديمقراطي يليق بمصر والمصريين. شارك، صوتك هيوصل.
أدكس 2025 المعرض الدولي للصناعات الدفاعية والعسكرية. بعد النجاح الباهر الذي حققه المعرض في نسخه الثلاث، من جديد تأتي نسخته الرابعة على أرض مصر بمشاركة العديد من دول العالم لعرض أحدث الأسلحة والمعدات العسكرية وتبادل الخبرات العالمية بمركز مصر للمعارض الدولية في الفترة من الأول وحتى 4 من ديسمبر إيدكس 2025 أهم المنصات العالمية لاستعراض أحدث الأنظمة العالمية للأسلحة البرية والبحرية والجوية تحت رعاية السيد الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس الجمهورية القائد الأعلى للقوات المسلحة.